para, ayan, pa-thumbs up lang kung naiintindihan ako, kung klaro ang boses ko. Okay? Very good. May mga times na mag-a-ask ako ng question, randomly you can answer me. Let's go on with our lesson for today. For this week 1 lesson coverage, you're going to see what I'm going to check what you know. Nakailang economics na rin kayo. And then, what you should learn, what will be our objectives for this lesson, and then I'll be giving you a motivation scenario. Hindi naman kwento, pero somewhat like I want you to imagine things, okay? Mahilig si Sir Mitch sa ganon. Alam ni Darren yun. So, makikita nyo kung paano ako mag-start ng lesson. It will always be through something na hindi yung definition kagad, okay? And then, we're going to do the lesson proper. And then, we're going to generalize. Simple lang ang lesson natin today. Ayokong pabigatin, kaya more on the economic development term itself lang tayo, okay? And then, the activity and assessment. Okay? Are you ready? Kahit isa lang or dalawang sumagot. Are you ready? Nandyan pa ba kayo?
Opo, sir.
Okay, good.
Yes, sir.
Jen, total ikaw yung nakikita ko. Jen Jovel Bamba. Okay, hello Jen. Meron akong question dito. What is economics? Words, ideas, or anything you remember about economics? When you were in grade 9, nag-economics kayo. When you were in grade 12, nag-applied economics kayo. Last year, nag-microeconomics ba kayo? Basta, meron na kayong 2 to 3 subjects in economics. So most likely, you have an idea already what is economics. Jen, can I ask you to answer this one? Jen? Hello, Jen. I can't hear you. Hindi mo ako naririnig. Hindi ata ako naririnig. Jen, yung mic mo. Mukhang hindi nag-work. That's okay, Jen. Let's try Norhata. Norhata. Sabi ko sa inyo mag-ready kayo sa mga random questionings ko and sa mga random na pagtawag ko. Anyone who would like to answer me, what do you remember about economics? Words, ideas, or anything you remember? Who's that?
Sir Morales, Nika po.
Okay, Morales, Nika. Nika, go.
Economics is a science that deals with management of scarce resources.
Oh, I like that. So what you remember about scarce resources, okay? Thank you, Morales. Nika. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Wait, by the way, sa chat din, kapag sumagot kayo, ayun, you type there your name and then, sir, I answered. Para alam ko, because answering is quite hard in online class, but I would like to give an appreciation point for those who answer in my class, okay? So, hindi siya score, but rather additional points, okay? Anyone else, aside from it's about scarce resources, anyone who wants to answer? And then you answer. Go.
Sir,
Go.
Jana po, sir.
Okay, go, Jana.
For me, sir, yung economics po, it's about the production, the distribution, and consumption of goods and services. And also the allocation of the resources po sa isang ekonomiya ng bansa po.
That's nice. Thank you, Jana. Thank you. That is something to do with distribution, production, distribution, consumption of goods and services. Thank you, Jana. One last who wants to answer me. to give their idea, their words about economics, anything that you remember about economics.
Sir,
Yes, go. Who's that?
Darren po.
Okay, go,
Darren.
Darren.
For me po, economics is a study where we actually learn on how we use our resources to para ma-solusyonan po yung current needs and wants ng isang tao in our economy.
Thank you, Darren. At least now na narinig ko, may ideya pa rin kayo, okay? That's nice, Darren. That is something to do with how you budget, how you manage your resources to satisfy and to give solutions, okay? Sige, as we go over, kasi kailangan natin ng meaning of economics. That's why I asked you. That's why I needed you to recall, okay? Remember, this is economic development, okay? So, what you should learn for today, you should know at the end of this discussion, you should be able to define economic development, not in the manner of terminologies or technicalities in the book, but rather from your own self. From what you will learn today, you will be able to define economics on your own, okay? Next, you will be able to explore economic development. So, ano ba ang scope and nature ng economic development? Ano ba ang tungkol ba lahat saan ito? So, next and the last one is we're going to discuss the importance. You will be able to discuss the importance of economic development. Kung mapapansin nyo, laging ganyan ang flow ng mga objectives ko. Kasi I want it simple, pero at the end of the day, you will be able to see and explore the importance of what we actually study. From defining to exploring to discovering and to the last one is valuing the importance. Okay? Next, motivation. Ito, nakikita ba lahat? I need someone to answer for this one, okay? Kung nakikita, ayan, yung sa table, you're going to see in this table, wait lang ha, balandra yung ano. Family, work, education, food, shelter, happiness. I want you to imagine a rich family. I want you to imagine a rich family. And I want you to imagine a poor family as well. And then, tingin nyo ano yung work ng isang rich family? Ano yung napag-aralan? Excuse me. Ay, coronavirus. Okay, I want you to think about a rich family. Ano ba ang work ng isang mayaman na pamilya? Ano kaya ang natapos ng mga mayayamang pamilya? Kumusta ang edukasyon ng isang mayamang pamilya? Ano kaya ang kinakain ng mga mayayaman? Ano kaya ang kinakain ng mga mahihirap? Saan nakatira ang mga mayayaman? Ano kaya ang nagpapasaya sa mga mayayaman? Ano kaya ang nagpapasaya sa mga mahihirap? I want you to think this over. I want you to describe a rich family. I want you to describe a poor family. I hope you're getting it. I want you to look at the difference between a rich and a poor family in terms of work, education, food, shelter, and happiness. Okay, reminder lang, yung mga hindi nakarinig kanina, for your attendance, I want you to chat, okay? Sa chat box natin, sa chat room natin, I want you to chat your name and then you write present, okay? Tapos kapag nakasagot na kayo naman kayo, if you were able to answer a question from me, you can chat your name as well and then just type there recitation or I answered. Okay na sa akin yan. I know it already. Okay? Because I can, this is recorded and I can actually save the chat. Okay? So, that's one way. Okay. Now, at least I've given you enough time for you to describe a rich family. Describe a poor family. Anyone from the group, aside from the people who answered the gusto naman tumawag ako randomly. else? Maghahanap ako. Tatawag na lang ako. Gusto ko yung picture ni Angelica de la Cruz. Na parang posing siya sa sa banana leaf or sa hindi. Coconut na leaf. Angelica?
Hi po, sir.
Hello. Sa post na to. Go. Can you describe a rich family muna? Just a rich family.
For me lang po, for my own opinion. Sa rich po, feeling ko nag-work sila in a big company and education, college level and pumasa sa board, mga ganyan po. Tapos food, they eat in a restaurant, kahit saan na mamahaling food, and shelter, nakatira sila sa mga subdivision. Tapos happiness, for me lang po, happiness, money. Ganun.
Thank you. Yeah, that's your opinion and that's okay. Thank you, Angelica.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Angelica. Next, anyone else? Ito, gusto ko yung post din ni Luis Alfonso. Ayan, ganyan, oh. Hello, Luis. Hello.
Hello po, sir.
Can you still describe a rich family for you? What is a rich family in terms of work? Yung bata, yung mga anak nila. Huwag na tayo sa parents. Dun sa mga anak na lang. Go.
Yung sa work po, sir, kung doon po sa mga anak, hindi pa po nagtatrabaho yung mga anak. Then po sa education, nag-aaral po sila doon sa mga exclusive school, mga private school.
Okay.
Then yung sa food po, ayon po yung sinabi po ni Angelica na kumakain po sila sa mga mamahaling restaurant. Yung di po parang fast food po, ganun. Tapos yung sa shelter po, meron po silang magandang bahay. Mayroon po silang mga sapat na kagamitan, ganun po. Then yung sa happiness po, parang kung satisfaction na lang po yung happiness nila.
Oh. Luis. Thank you so much, Luis. Parang satisfaction na lang po ang happiness. Nice, Luis. Thank you so much, Luis. How about describing a poor family? Hanap pa ako, ha? Yung may magandang post. Talagang binasa sa posting. Ito, mainit na post. Samantha Gamboa.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Samantha. Can you describe a poor family? Yung parents muna siguro, in terms of their work, education, food, shelter, and happiness.
Sa work po, wala po silang stable na work. Like, mahirap po silang makahanap ng work. Tapos sa education naman po, wala pong nakagraduate or mahirap po din silang makapasok sa school kasi walang pera, ganun po. Tapos sa food naman po, baka 3 times a day or less po sila kumakain. Ay, tama po ba sir? Tapos, sa shelter naman po, yung simpleng bahay lang po. Yung may mga rooms na basta po hindi po kagaya ng sa rich family. Tapos happiness po siguro yung makakain po sila makakakain po sila ng 3 times a day po.
That's for you, that's a poor family. Thank you so much, Samantha. How about the other? Who wants to answer? Anyone else? Sa magtawag
Sir,
ako. Baka merong gusto. Sino?
Jansef po.
Jansef. Go, Jansef.
Sir, paulit po yung question.
How are you going to describe a poor family? I want you to think of the poorest among the poor family. I want you to describe it in terms of work, education, food, shelter, and happiness.
Pagdating po sa work, yung pong agad na pumasok sa isip ko ay yung mga nangangalakal po at saka yung mga nag-construction worker. And when it comes to education naman po, yun po yung mga umaasa po sa mga programs ng government yung mga kumukuha po ng mga NC2 para gamitin po nila to work abroad. Then pagdating po sa food, yun po sila po yung mga taong hindi maselan at kasiyahan na po nila yung one piece of chicken. Then sa shelter naman po, sila po yung mga nakatira sa mga barong-barong or sa mga squatter. Then yung happiness po nila is yung magkasama-sama po sila ng kumpleto. Yun lang po.
Thank you so much, Jansa. That's a very nice description of a poor family. Now, na naipakita ko na sa inyo, bakit ko ba pinapa-describe si rich family and poor family? Economic development naman ang topic natin. Kasi dito makikita yung level of change, okay? Kasi parang ang tanong, si poor family ba pwedeng maging rich? Si rich family ba pwedeng maging poor? Diba? It's a matter of, I just want you to imagine that question. You don't need to answer me, okay? Answer it to yourself. Tingin nyo, si rich ba si mayaman pwede pa bang maging mahirap? Si mahirap pwede bang maging mayaman? Okay? Now, if your answer is yes, then that is something to do with economic development. We'll discover it as we go on with our lesson proper. Okay, an additional thing that I want you to see is defining poverty. So economic development, but laging nasa tayo? Nasa mahirap, nasa poverty. You will discover soon, okay? Now, I want you to look at this one. There are 7 statements. I got this from Todaro and Smith book of economic development. They published this and they interviewed some people from different places in the world, okay? According to some people, this is how they define poverty, okay? From a poor woman from Uganda, sabi niya, when one is poor, she has no say in public. She feels inferior. She has no food. So there is famine in her house, no clothing, no progress in her family. Try to imagine ano yung sinasabi ng poor woman from Uganda. Ganyan ang kahirapan para sa kanya. Ganyan ang poverty. And from a blind woman from Tiraspol, Moldova, ang sabi niya, for a poor person, everything is terrible. Illness, humiliation, shame. We are cripples. We are afraid of everything. We depend on everyone. No one needs us. We are like garbage that everyone wants to get rid of. That's a blind woman from Moldova. Yon ang tingin niyang poverty is. And from a group of people in rural Ethiopia, life in the area is so precarious that the youth, this is something to do with being in danger, okay? Life in the area is so precarious that the youth and every able person have to migrate to the towns or join the army at the war front in order to escape the hazards of hunger escalating over here, dun sa place nila. Ganun nila, parang mas gusto nilang makilaban sa mga gera kesa sa magstay sa lugar nila because of hunger. Another one from a young man in Nichimichi, Zambia. When the food was in abundance, relatives used to share it. These days of hunger, however, not even relatives would help you by giving you some food. So imagine, that's poverty for Zambia, for a young man from Zambia. We have lined up for hours before it's our turn to draw water from a village in Malawi. For this, from Brazil, poverty is low salaries and lack of jobs. And it's also not having medicine, food, and clothes. Don't ask me what poverty is because you haven't met it outside my house. Look at the house and count the number of holes. Look at the utensils and the clothes I am wearing. Look at everything and write what you see. What you see is poverty. A poor man from Kenya. Why? Why are we trying to look at poverty? Why are we trying to compare a rich and a poor situation? You know why? A universal theme reflected in these 7 quotes is that poverty is more than lack of income. Hindi lang kawalan ng pera. Ang pagiging mayaman, hindi lang pagkamarami ng pera. Ang pagiging mahirap, hindi lang pagkawalan ng pera. Okay? It is inherently multidimensional. Sobrang maraming aspect. Kaya tinanong ko din ng happiness. It is not just something to do with economic measurement. It is not just about the quantity of having something to make you feel that you are rich, that you are not in poverty. There are also non-economic factors. Okay? That's how multidimensional poverty is. And so as economic development. Hindi ibig sabihin makikita mo ang salitang economics sa economic development. It is just something to do with, sabi nyo nga kanina, scarce resources. It's not just something to do with distribution, consumption, production, but rather it's all about everything. The every aspect of human being, from social to economical to political to and other aspects of human beings. Okay, that is okay. Now, sa at least siguro naman na nagising ko na yung mga utak nyo kung saan papunta yung pinag-uusapan natin. Ayan, sinasabi ko nga kanina, economics. Give me a moment, sindihan ko lang yung ilaw, dumidilim na ako. Okay. Now I'm back. Economics plus development, okay? Mas maganda kasi para mas maintindihan nyo what is economic development is by trying to define first what is economics, what is development. Okay? According to Amartya Sen, a very famous what do you call this? Developmentalist and an economist is Amartya Sen from India. He is actually an Asian, okay? He won a lot of what do you call this, awards because of his words in economics and in social and in socialism, okay? That was 1998 when he published a book. According to Sen, development is the process of expanding human freedom. Imagine niyo yun. Expanding human freedom. Baka isipin nyo kasi pag freedom lang, ay malaya akong lumabas ng bahay. No. It is the enhancement of freedoms that allow people to lead lives that they have reason to live. Hence, development requires the removal of major sources of things that makes you not free, like poverty, as well as tyranny, poor economic opportunities, as well as systematic social deprivation, neglect of public facilities, as well as intolerance or overactive of repressive states. So kung titignan natin, development is something to do with a progress of freedom. Not just a freedom of speech, not just a freedom to do things, but a freedom to do things without any hindrances in all aspects. From your mental capacity to your mental needs and wants, to your physical needs and wants, to your economic needs and wants, to your social needs and wants, and even spiritual needs and wants. Okay? As long as you're progressing on these needs, kumbaga kung i-imagine niyo, may paano ba? Para mas makita niyo paano ang development. May isang pamilya, dati si tatay, ayun, nagtatrabaho yung tatay sa isang construction. Tapos, ang kinakain ng pamilya niya lagi na lang sardinas. Though mahal na ang sardinas ngayon. Imagine niyo lang, kumakain sila every day ng sardinas lang. Kung hindi man sardinas, delata pa rin, like corned beef. Ganon. And then eventually, nagpursige si tatay. Gamitin ko yung sinabi kanina ni Jan, nung isa sa inyo, sabi niya, kapag kumuha ng TESDA, yung mga certificates. So yun, nagpursige si tatay. Nag-aral ng ibang something para matrain niya yung sarili niya. Natuto siyang mag-welding. So at the same time, marunong siya sa construction. So nag-level up si tatay. So may dalawa na siyang trabaho. Nakakapag-construction siya. At the same time, nakakapag-welding siya. So nag-iba ang food ng family. Naging naging fresh meat na niluluto nila. So nakakakain na sila ng 1 kilong baboy o kaya 1 kilong manok sa isang araw. So kung titignan nyo, from sardinas to chicken or pork, there is development. Okay? Kung dati yun lang ang kaya nila, pero nadagdagan, there is a progress. Okay? Nagkaroon ng progress, and that is development. Okay? Now, let's go to economics. If that is development, the progress, now what is economics? Bakit kailangan i-connect si economics sa economic development? Sa development itself. Kung yun naman pala si development. Economics is a branch of social science that deals with the study of the allocation of limited resources for production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services to satisfy the unlimited needs and wants of people. Sayang hindi ako yung naging teacher niyo sa applied economics. Dito pa lang makikita niyo na kung bakit nako-connect si development kay economics. Lagi akong may ginagamit na universal definition ng economics. Kasi kung titignan nyo, economics daw is the allocation of limited resources. Mga kakapusan, mga kinakapos na resources. Yung mga resources na yon, gagamitin yon to produce goods and services. Saan gagamitin yung mga goods and services na yon? Para masatisfy ang needs and wants ng tao. Kung titignan nyo, hindi nauubos ang needs and wants ng tao. Dapat alam nyo yan since your economics in grade 9 and grade 12. Hindi nauubos ang mga needs and wants natin, pero nauubos ang mga resources natin. Kaya nagkakaroon tayo ng scarcity of resources. And that is economics there. Kailangan pag-aralan ni economics kung ano yung tamang gagawin para ma-manage at ma-budget yung mga resources na to for our unlimited needs and wants. Okay? So, ganon ang pinaka-meaning ng economics. Pero ang lagi kong sinasabi, kasi dahil may kakapusan, nag-end up tayo, we are being forced to make or to create decisions. Lagi kong sinasabi that economics is the study of choice. Diba? Kahit saang situation mo, actually, yung magigising ka lang sa umaga, tatayo na ba ako o hindi? Because there is scarce resources, which is time. May pasok pa ako pero gusto ko pang matulog. Nahati yung resources mong time resources to do sleeping, to sleep, or to go to school. So nagkakaroon. Kaya lang, because of those limited resources, you are forced to make a choice. Will you sleep more or will you stand up and prepare for school? Diba? In any situation, actually, in any situation of our life, kahit saan pa yan, kahit dito, kahit ngayon, nabobore na ako kay Sir Mitch. Inaantok na ako. Iidlip na lang ako. Diba? You can do that. Diba? Pero, there is a scarce of your time. You can only do one thing. Either you listen to me, you participate in this online class, or you sleep. Pero syempre, may mga consequences. Pero syempre, there are things that you need to consider. Pero because of limited resources, you are forced to make a choice. That's why economics is the study of choice. Now, connecting it to economic to development, sabi natin kanina, progress ng development. So we are adding economics not just because of the goods and services, but rather the totality of choosing. How are we going to choose? How are we going to solve our budgeting of our limited resources for us to be able to progress, for us to be able to step to the next level? Puro sardinas na lang ba ang kakainin ng isang pamilya? O baka pwede na silang kumain ng raw food. Baka pwede na rin silang mag-vegetable. Lagi na lang ba ang isang pamilya ay nakatira sa barong-barong? Baka pwedeng mag-level up. Diba? And through the use of economics theories, approaches, skills, then it will be of a good help in progressing, in attaining development. I hope you get that, and I hope I am clear. Another question that might mislead you or confuse you. Economic development or development economics? Pareho ba yan o hindi ba pareho? Okay? Hindi na ako magpapaligoy-ligoy. We're running out of time. Dapat nasa 45 minutes lang ang discussion. Economic development or development economics, para hindi kayo ma-confuse, for our class, we're going to use them as the same. Okay? Actually, the subject should be development economics. And the goal of development economics is to achieve economic development. Okay? Kaya lang, in our case, and we need to follow the chat into the curriculum, your subject is called economic development. Pero, it is synonymous to development economics. Okay? That should be clear. Okay? So, gagamitin natin siya as synonymous to each other. Pero kung titignan nyo talaga, development economics is the course itself or the subject itself, and then economic development is the goal or the target of development economics. Okay? Then what is development economics or economic development? This is a branch of economics that focuses on improving fiscal, economic, social conditions in developing countries. So, pag-uusapan natin ng mga developing countries, kamukha ng Pilipinas, ng Brazil, ng Indonesia, ng Thailand. Usually mga Asian countries, mga Southeast Asian countries, they are developing countries, okay, that we're going to talk about, okay? So branch of economics that focuses on improving fiscal. When we talk about fiscal and monetary, this is something to do with the money circulation of a country or a nation or a society or even just a community. Okay? Improving fiscal, improving economic. This is something to do with the goods and services that is being produced in a country. Gaano ba kadami? Nakatulong ba para gumaan at maayos ang buhay ng mga tao? And social conditions. So this is something to do yung dumarami ba ang employment? Nagkakatrabaho ba ang mga tao? O lalong nawawalan ng this is also something to do with health conditions as well. Lalo na ngayon, this is very timely and current. We are on a pandemic. We are on a crisis, health crisis. Okay? Kumusta ang mga developing countries? How are they coping up with the pandemic? Development economics considers factors such as, let me recall you again, let me reiterate it again, health. So, health, kumusta ba ang health system? Kumusta ba ang education? Is it free for all? Working conditions. Do we have a systematic working conditions? How about our domestic, our local policies in terms of trades, in terms of foreign affairs? So domestic and international policies. And market condition with a focus on improving conditions in the world's poorest countries. So from the developing countries, we will also tackle underdeveloped countries, okay? Pero syempre, pag-uusapan din natin yung mga more developed countries. So, yung mga parang mga yung mas mayayamang mga bansa. Para makita natin what did they do or what are they doing or what they have done to improve and to progress and to meet and finally ma-acquire nila yung economic development. Okay? So, economic development or development economics also examine macro and micro. You know the difference between macro and micro. Macro, yung small scale ng economics. Large scale rather. Micro, from the word itself, micro, maliit, yung small scale. So, factors relating to, yes. I heard someone. May gusto, sino yun? Okay, mukhang napindot lang. Anyway, going back, okay, relating to the structure of developing economies and domestic and international economic growth. So, titignan din natin kumusta ba yung mga sales, yung mga goods and services ng isang product sa isang bansa, okay? And then, titignan natin yung kabuuang goods and services ng bansang yon through GDP, GNP. Okay? Studies the transformation. Laging ganito. The transformation of nations into more prosperous nation. So, from underdeveloped to developing and then developing to underdeveloped. That is development. That's why it's a study of how these countries can develop, can transform into a prosperous and progressive country or nation. Okay? The study of how economies transform from stagnation to growth and from low income to high income and overcome problems and absolute poverty. Okay? LDC to MDC. That means less developed countries to more developed countries. So, from pagiging mahirap to pagiging mayaman. That is economic development. Okay? Bilisan na lang natin itong core values of development. Okay? May sustenance, self-esteem, and freedom from servitude to be able to choose. Okay? These are the core values of development. And we will apply this to economic development as well. Okay? Sustenance, the ability to meet basic needs. Nami-meet ba ng mga tao ng isang nation, ng isang bansa, ang mga pangangailangan nila ng yung mga needs nila? Yung basic needs nila like food, shelter, and clothing. Nami-meet ba nila yon? If nami-meet nila yon, there is sustenance. Okay? Self-esteem. Nafe-feel ba ng mga tao sa isang bansa na tao sila? Did they still have self-respect? Nako-consider pa rin ba ang equality? Nami-meet na ba, rather, ang equality? Walang babae, walang lalaki, walang mayaman, walang mahirap. Nag-i-increase ba ang self-esteem? To be a person, to be human. Ganun bang natatrato ang mga tao sa isang bansa? Freedom from servitude. This is to be able to choose. May kakayahan ba yung mga tao sa bansang yon, sa lugar na yon, to choose in all aspects, to choose what they want, what they need, to choose what to buy, to choose whom to be, to choose whom to love. O, diba? May pagganon pa. Those are the core values. Do not forget them. Sustenance, self-esteem, freedom from servitude. Then, nilagay ko ang role of women dito. Kasi malaking bagay dahil siguro nasanay tayo dito sa Pilipinas, equality from men and women, is very much generally, I'm not saying all, but generally very evident na sa Pilipinas that women are becoming like men as well in terms of their status. Okay? Bakit ko sinali? Kasi maraming mga bansa, lalo na yung mga underdeveloped at ilan sa mga developing countries, women's role is still in the households. And kapag nag-improve ang equality, kapag nag-improve ang treatment sa mga babae, nag-improve ang development. That's why we're going to have a chapter that we're going to talk about the role of women and its status on different countries. The 3 objectives of development: increase availability of life-sustaining goods. Paano natin mamimit ito? Through these 3 objectives, okay? Increase availability of life-sustaining goods. Dapat dito na sa part ng government ito. Raise levels of living. Dumarami ba ang trabaho? Yung mga trabaho bang ng mga taong to nasusuffice o nasasatisfy yung needs ng kanilang pamilya? Expand range of economic and social choices. So parang pareho lang sila nung core values ng development. Kung titingnan nyo, they're almost the same. Something to do with sustenance, raise level of living. Nagiging tao ba? O mukhang hayop na o hayop lang ang trato, 'di ba? Expand the range of economic and social choices. This is also something to do with freedom. Last part na to, bilisan ko na lang. I know it's time. Millennial Development Goals, okay? What are this? This is actually the Millennium is a set of 8 goals adopted by the United Nations in 2000 to eradicate extreme poverty and hunger, achieve universal primary education, gender equality, empower women, reduce child mortality, improve maternal health, combat HIV, malaria, at kung idadagdag pa natin ngayon, COVID-19 and other diseases, ensure environmental sustainability, and develop a global partnership for development. The goals are assigned specific targets and be achieved dapat noong 2050. Okay? So, I want you to read more, okay? As I end this one, okay? Nasa modules nyo to. Just explore it more, okay? Eradicate extreme poverty and hunger for us to be able to meet the economic goal development. To see economic development of a certain country, dapat ang poverty at hunger. Ngayon, tanungin ko kayo, sa Pilipinas ba, na-eradicate na ba ang poverty? May mga lugar pa ba sa Pilipinas na nagugutom ang mga tao? Ang kita ba nila sa isang araw nasa 50 pesos a day? Meron pa bang ganun na Pilipino? Nag-improve na ba ang Pilipinas? Next, achieve universal primary education. Libre na ba ang pag-aaral sa Pilipinas? Libre na ba ang pag-aaral sa Pilipinas? Oh my. So I just want you to reflect on this, okay? You don't need to answer. Just reflect. Libre na ba ang pag-aaral sa Pilipinas? Primary education, that means that is something to do with elementary and high school. Libre na ba? Promote gender equality and power. Ako ba yun? Bakit na ano sila? Bakit may ganyan? Oh my God. Hi. Bakit may ganyan? Sorry ah. Wala namang multo sa amin eh. Ba't biglang na gano'n? Anyways, going back. Number 3. Promote gender equality and empower women. May gender equality na ba sa Pilipinas? Empowered ba ang mga women natin? Next, reduce child mortality. Reduce child mortality. O marami pa ring mga bata under 5 ang namamatay. Improve maternal health. Na-improve na ba ang maternal health? May mga programs ba ang Pilipinas when it comes to this? Were we able to combat HIV or AIDS and other diseases? O ito na lang ang tanong. Nakayanan ba ng Pilipinas ang COVID? Kumusta tayo ngayong COVID? Just want you to reflect, okay? Ensure environmental sustainability. Naaalagaan ba ang ating environment? Nagkakaroon ba ng sustainable development in terms of policies and programs sa ating kapaligiran, sa ating environment? O marami pa rin nagkakainin, o marami pa rin nag-illegal logging, marami pa rin naninira ng corals. Were we able to ensure environmental sustainability? And the last one, meron ba tayong global partnership? At yung partnership natin sa ibang bansa, were we able to sustain, to benefit at the same time to help? O nagagamit lang ba ang Pilipinas? It's a big question. Those are just questions. For now, that is all something to do with the economic development and its nature, okay? Scope and nature. At the end of this, I just want you to think about this. What is the importance of studying economic development? I want at least 5 people to answer me. What is the importance of economic development? Ay, bakit 25 tayo sa grupo? Ang nice naman. Anyway, ayan, inalis ko yung sharing kasi gusto kong makita. At least I need 5 or more if you want to answer more. I heard Jocelyn. You want to answer, Jocelyn? What do you think is the importance of studying economic development? Bakit kailangan part ito ng curriculum nyo for accountancy students? Yes, Jocelyn.
Sir, ulit po.
What do you think is the importance of studying economic development? As we studied the scope and the meaning of economic development, what do you think? That's okay. Anyone else? Yung gustong sumagot?
Sir, ako po, sir.
Go, Riasol. Jane, go, Jane.
Para po sa akin, sir, yung importance ng pag-aaral ng economic development is to improve the quality of life ng mga tao sa isang bansa.
Thank you so much. Sinapul mo masyado kagad, no? To improve quality of life. It may not be in the whole country, but at least in your own individuality, to improve your own life, for you to be able to help your family, to improve your family's life, quality of life, and eventually to improve the whole country's. Siyempre, di ba, kung lahat ng bawat individual ay kayang i-improve ang quality of life nila, makakatulong yan sa family. And if the family can improve the quality of life, then the whole society will be. Then that society will go on for a community, for municipality, to a city, to a province, to a region, and to the whole country. Sinapul mo kaagad, no? Thank you so much, Jane Umlas. How about the others? Baka meron pang gustong idagdag? Sayang ang point. Wala nang gustong magdagdag. Masyado bang sinapol ni ano? Okay. Kung yung mga nakasagot mag-type dito. Save ko yung file in a while. Mag-present ako ulit. Wait lang. Okay, so just to improve the quality of life in all aspects as well. At least, ang saya ko kasi kahit pa paano ibig sabihin, 'di ba? So naintindihan niyo yung lesson natin for today. Though kahit isa lang, pero at least, 'di ba, nasa pool kagad. Thank you. Remember, okay? To generalize it, okay? Remember for the ultimate purpose of any course in economics, kung naging teacher niyo ako since grade 9 actually, kung naging teacher niyo ako nung high school kayo, nung grade 12 kayo, isa lang ang lagi niyo maririnig sa akin. At the end of studying economics, I want you to be, gusto ko ang matutuhan niyo is maging maging individual na nakakagawa ng mga choices, wise decision making. Yun ang lagi kong gustong i-push. Okay? Now, applying it in there, sabi nga niya, including development economics is to help students think systematically. So if you know how to think systematically, if you know how to choose wisely about economic problems, issues, so at the end of the day, sabi nga ni Jane kanina, we're going to improve the quality of life. Okay? So that would be all. Do you have any questions? Before I end this discussion, this virtual class, gusto kong makarinig kung meron kayong tanong. Thank you so much once again. Thank you for being so cooperative and participative. Please, yung sa case study, masanay na kayo. Yun ang pinakamahirap na gagawin niyo sa klase ko. Yung magbabasa ng 5 pages cases, tapos parang igagawin yung reflection. So, yun lang medyo pinakamahirap sa klase ko. Pero activities, homework, wala kayong problema. Okay? So, thank you so much once again. Have a great night. Enjoy the rest of the night by answering the activities and case study. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you.
Goodbye, sir.
Bye, sir.
Goodbye, sir.
Bye.